I know that it's not just me that I've noticed. A lot of people have also complained that this health content creators, that sometimes this person is saying this is good for you, the other person is saying this is bad for you. The same thing, how can it be good and bad? From my personal experience, I have come to realize that I can tell you for free. When it comes to health, there are different roads leading to that destination because we all are scattered in different positions when it comes to health. Our health status are not the same. We're all human beings. We have a lot in common, but I tell you, even if two people are suffering from the same disease, person A may be suffering from that disease in conjunction with another disease. They are living in a loop. That disease is in a loop with some other diseases. And then person B is also suffering from that disease, and that disease is occurring together with another disease that's separate from person A's own. And so what will bring person A to health, the journey, the process, and everything that will bring person A to health may not be the exact journey and process that will bring person B to health, even though the main disease is the same. But other things that are existing together with the disease are different. We all have different health journeys. Where we are basically right now, health wise, is totally different. And so our approach to achieving optimal health may differ in a little way. When it comes to the holistic way of approaching health, then you have to realize that it is an individualistic journey and you not just copy and paste what another person is saying that it worked for them. So I was just trying to manage my life or manage my health. And then I came across all of these videos and I did my research on those points that I felt like they were speaking to me and my situation. And so I decided to practicalize some of them. So some of the things that I learned and I was trying to implement in my life was probiotics, right? They said probiotics are good for you because I had issues with constipation, issues with my skin not being smooth. And that's one thing, like if you're dark skin, a lot of people expect that your skin will be flawless and all. No, there are layers to this things. And sometimes it's this stereotype that's making a lot of people lighten up their skin because it's like, how can you be dark skin and your skin is flawed? It's like for you to be dark skin, your skin has to be flawless. And well, I digress. That's not my pain that I'm talking about in this video. I'm talking about a different pain. And so when I was researching on probiotics, I heard that sauerkrauts are good. They are packed with a lot of bacterial strands that are good for the gut and all. And the first probiotic I even encountered was apple cider vinegar. And when I used it, it worked for me. And when I stopped, it stopped working. And so I was like, okay, since apple cider vinegar is a probiotic and it worked that time that I used it, now that they're saying sauerkraut is also a probiotic and it has a lot of these benefits of which I'm seeking to attain for my own body, let me go for it, okay? And the truth is, at that time, I couldn't afford the apple cider vinegar again. I was in Abuja. They sell apple cider vinegar that time, 23,000. But here in Jos, it's like 18,000, or is it 11 as a matter of fact? How much did I buy this? Well, I'm looking at the bottle, it's right here in front of me. That's why I'm looking there. And so the difference is huge. Buying apple cider vinegar in Abuja and buying it in Jos is huge. And so that time that I was in Abuja, I did not have money. I was a master's student, jobless, and so I didn't have money. And I said, okay, let me try this sauerkraut thing. I bought cabbage. Besides, they said cruciferous vegetables are good, are great for you. Someone like me that's trying to tackle estrogen dominance. I was like, okay, let's go for it. In Abuja, I cannot access broccoli, and so let me just use this sauerkraut thingy to improve my cruciferous vegetable intake and also introduce some good healthy bacteria to my body. Let me see and enjoy these health benefits that they're talking about. And I did it. I don't know, maybe it's the way I did it. Maybe the water wasn't really clean enough, but guys, my health started deteriorating. I was okay for a while, and then I started feeling fever. I know in Nigeria, when you feel fever, you think it's malaria. And it was rainy season, it was around May. So it was raining season, and I said, oh, so these mosquitoes, they have done their thing. Let me go and take anti-malarial medication. I took the anti-malarial medication, and after it, I still wasn't feeling like okay like that. In fact, before taking the malaria medication, I was hesitant to start taking the malaria medication. I was like, I'm taking probiotics, right? It's supposed to strengthen my immune system. So I believe that my immune system is going to fight this. I'm going to overcome this. And so I waited. And then I was like, this thing is getting serious. So let me just take the anti-malaria medication. I took the anti-malaria medicine and I've not feel completely okay. And it's unfortunately a common thing these days that people take anti-malaria medication and they don't feel okay immediately. It takes time. I don't know why necessarily, but it is what it is. And so I said, let me give it a little time. And then one day went by, 2 days went by, and I was like, no, this thing is getting out of hand. I need to do something. Maybe it's because I did not take antibiotics. So let me go and buy tetracycline. I went and bought tetracycline. And I asked the guy in the chemist, how am I supposed to take it? And the guy said, one in the morning, one in the evening. And I was like, I don't even want to take too much antibiotic in the first place because I heard the dangers of it. And that's why I started taking probiotics in the first place. And so he said one in the morning, one in the evening. All right, let's do that. I took one in the morning, one in the evening the first day, and I noticed that somewhere in between, I was feeling off. When I took it in the morning, I started feeling great, but somewhere in the afternoon, my body, my health started behaving somehow. And then in the evening, after I took the second dose, I became okay again. And I was like, I observed it the second day as well. I was like, no, 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 this dose is not sufficient. I need to start taking it morning, afternoon, evening. And so I started taking morning, afternoon, evening. And the two cards that I was supposed to take, I finished it. But I was still not feeling okay. I was like, hey, what did I enter into? And you know something? This is confession time. I heard that when you're taking antibiotics, it's good you take it with a probiotic because antibiotics wipe out everything, the good and the bad. And so you're supposed to introduce the good bacteria as you are killing off the bad bacteria. And so I continued taking my sauerkraut. Who knows, maybe that was why I was feeling off. This video is not to tell that probiotics are bad, but it's just that it's not the best option for everyone out there. It's great for some people and it may be great for me too, but maybe at that point in time, I wasn't just ready for it. You have to be ready for something. Let's say this is the root cause of your problem. Sometimes your body is not strong enough for you to tackle the root of the problem. Sometimes you have to clear the weeds, clear the bushes around in order for you to be able to get to the root. And so that's why I'm sharing this my story because maybe someone out there is like me that they are trying to just go to the root of the problem, whereas their body is not there yet. Your body is not strong enough to handle it. You have to like clear the bushes around so you can be able to get to the root of the problem eventually. So I was taking the probiotic drink or meal because sometimes I just drink the water and then sometimes I eat the cabbage of the sauerkraut. I'll take it and then a little bit later I'll now take my antibiotics. So I noticed that my health was just deteriorating. I lost weight drastically. Like people were like, what happened? I became super dark. When I came back, people were like, I wanted to say scared, but yeah, people were scared. Even my project supervisor, when I was still there in Abuja, my project supervisor matched my leg. Maybe he was thinking that I was a ghost or something. He was trying to like cast out the ghost or something, but that's another story for another day. And so one thing I am telling you right now is that people were scared. People that knew me, they were scared. They were like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "Cho, Gengem, blessing, you have entered. You have entered." That was how I now went and bought another antibiotic, guys. You know, in Nigeria, when something is wrong with you, it's either typhoid or malaria. And so since I've treated malaria and it not work, I've taken just simple antibiotics and it not work. Let me go for those antibiotics that they give people that are suffering from typhoid. So I went and told the person in the drugstore that I changed the chemist. I went to another chemist because I don't want to be going to the same chemist more than once back to back. Maybe I'm weird, but it is what it is. Like if I go here, I buy a medicine, I go here again, I'm treating the same thing and I'm not getting better. I'm not going to come here the third time, at least not now. Maybe in 6 months' time you'll see me. But I'm definitely going to change to another drugstore, to another pharmacy. So that you'll not start thinking that this person is sicky or something like that. But well, I changed and I went to a different pharmacy, and then I told the person that, hey, I've taken another antibiotic. I've taken amoxil. Yes, I believe the antibiotic they gave me was amoxil. I don't know the first name I mentioned, but if it wasn't amoxil I mentioned, scratch that. It was amoxil they gave me. And so I told him that I've taken amoxil and this thing did not go. And I've treated malaria. So I need another antibiotic that will help me. Maybe it's typhoid. So this is my case. And so he gave me a stronger antibiotic. I went and took it. I started feeling better. But then after I was done taking it, the sickness started coming back again. When I was taking it, the sickness was like going. After I stopped taking it, the sickness started coming back again. I was like, hey, my own has I finally carried. That's how I stopped taking the probiotics. Nobody had to talk to me. My body was speaking loud and clear, and so I stopped taking the probiotics. I was like, God help me. I am in a mess. I need your help. And at that point, I was also struggling from anxiety, serious panic attacks. And in another video, I may probably open up on that issue, but that was another issue that was existing together with this fever that I was experiencing. That's why I said some diseases they don't occur in isolation. And so in my own case, it was serious panic attack and it was this fever. And one mistake that I was doing that time was that I was in my room all day. If I wasn't going out to see my supervisors, because I had two supervisors, if I wasn't going out to school, I was indoors. No vitamin D whatsoever. That was fueling that anxiety. And that was also not helping me in treating the infection that I was suffering from. And so now, will I say that it was typhoid that was disturbing me or it was malaria or whatever? Because all of these antibiotics, they were not working. What is it? And so I picked ginger, turmeric, garlic. I boiled them in with clove, right? I boiled them, I drank. And then I was drinking that because I was done with the antibiotic. I was still not feeling fine. I don't know what to do. I don't want to buy another antibiotic because that will be three antibiotics in a row. I've just learned that antibiotics is not good to take them for a long time. They wipe out everything. And that was the exact situation I was trying to handle when I found myself in this mess. So I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it with the antibiotics. And so I was like, let me go the natural route since this chemist one is not working. So I went for garlic, ginger, turmeric, clove. And whew, my body was cooked. Like my whole body was paining me. There was one night that it was like, will I reach the morning? I couldn't sleep that night. My whole body was in pains. It was aching me. Apparently, in hindsight, I now know that my sulfur bucket was filled up because I was taking ginger. I was eating a lot of cabbage, and cabbage is a cruciferous vegetable, and you know that they have sulforaphane, and you can hear sulfur from the name, right? And so garlic itself too has sulfur. So my body was in an overload of sulfur. The bucket that was containing sulfur was too much. And so my body was cooked. And it was like the end of the world. And in the morning, I didn't know what to do. But my mom said I should stop taking the ginger and I should stop taking the garlic and all. And so I did not take it that morning. And eventually I started feeling all right. Let me not bore you with the in and out of my malaria treatment and the whatsoever treatment. Let me try to make the story a little bit shorter. Eventually, I had to take another anti-malarial medication, and because I was suspecting resistant malaria. After taking that one, a week later, I started feeling off again, and I had to take another one. And I started taking Paludrin at some point, and I had to stop it because it was getting worse. And then I said, let me just go to the hospital and test myself. I don't understand. I've tried this. I am now confused. Oh goodness. And so I went to the hospital. They tested, and they were like, when last did you take antibiotics? Because the amount of parasites, the amount of infection in your body right now, what's happening? I was like, it's been a long time. That was a lie. I was like, I can't remember actually. I lied. But I knew that I was taking probiotics, so I was like, possibly maybe that probiotic really introduced a lot of bacteria in my body that my body was fighting so hard for its dear life. Before that time, I had never had a reason to have a cannula in my body. Never. There was never a point that I was admitted in the hospital or a cannula was placed in my body. But that time they were like, we have to do it intravenously. We have to give you the antibiotics intravenously. I was taking the antibiotics intravenously. I was also taking the one mebendazole. And it was like, before even taking that mebendazole, before even going to the hospital, I dewormed myself. I took a dose of mebendazole. But when I went there and with what they saw, they still gave me 3 packs of mebendazole. Like, they used to give just 1 pack and then you now take once and that's all. They gave me three. I have to like take it for 3 days. Even though I took it before going to the hospital, but it was so bad. Like, the parasite infestation in my body was so bad. And so I did the treatment and oh my goodness. When I was almost done, all of a sudden my body became cooked. Worse than the previous one I had when I was taking the garlic, ginger, and clove combination. This time around, it was a feeling I had never felt before because even that cooked up feeling of garlic, there were times that I felt it before. I think so. I was like, is it the parasites now that they have multiplied or something? I was like, oh my goodness. I was feeling way worse than I was feeling before going to the hospital. I was like, is it that my own has finished or what? I'm looking for a way out, and it's like every time I try to do something that will make my health better, my health becomes worse. Like, somebody help at this point. And this is medicine, no, and this is hospital. No, I went to hospital, they tested, they gave me these medications. Why is that? After taking them, I'm now feeling worse than I went there. Ha. I finished the medication. I was like, let me wait one day, maybe it will get better. It was like, no, it was getting worse. That was when I said, let me seek help again. Let me start researching again because I tried a little bit and it was like it backfired. Now I've gone back to the hospital and it's like it's boomerang times 100. What is happening? What is going on? And then I now came across a video that talked about lymphatic drainage. It's not all about killing the parasites. It's your body eliminating them. So the medication they gave me in the hospital was able to kill off the parasites. But because my lymphatic drainage system was stuck, I was left with the toxins in my body, in my bloodstream, and it was cooking me up, making me feel worse than I was even feeling before taking the medications. So I started doing lymphatic drainage stimulation, and then I started feeling better because before I was like, I am not sure I can wait for 5 days after the medication, but I wasn't sure that I could wait for 5 days before returning back to the hospital to tell them that what they gave me did not work. After taking your prescribed medications, I believe you should like give it some days to see. Maybe even though you're not feeling perfectly well, maybe after a day or two, you'll start feeling better because sometimes it can be the side effects of the drugs, right? I was like, I don't think this is side effects of the drugs. I feel like this my case has I don't even know how to explain it anymore, but I can't wait for 5 days. I can't wait for 1 week before returning back to the hospital. It's like I am going. It's like my life has come to it was super bad and terrible. You don't want to feel what I felt because hey, it's not something I can explain to you. But if you're someone that have experienced it, like you've taken something to kill off parasites and your lymphatic drainage system is stuck and you have the toxins in your body, you know exactly what I am talking about. And that is a terrible feeling. Oh my goodness. And so the hospital did not tell me anything about it, but it was still my research online that led me to this solution. And so researching online is not a bad thing. You'll hear a lot of opinions, a lot of health tips out there, but listen to your body. This one tip that I learned from online, which is lymphatic drainage stimulation, it helped me a lot. I felt like I was going. But after doing the lymphatic drainage stimulation, I felt a little bit better. And then after a while, the feeling came back again. And then anytime it will come, I'll do the lymphatic drainage stimulation and I'll feel better. Anytime the discomfort comes, I'll repeat it again until it was all gone. Hallelujah. Hey, praise God. Blessing became all right again. Glory be to God. And so I'm not saying that probiotics are wrong. The moral of this story is that listen to your body. There are so many health tips out there, and it's not as if they are bad, even though they did not work for you. It's just that where you are at in your health journey, your body cannot tolerate it. So listen to your body. You can do the research and think you're very careful, but your body may not be ready. And so when your body tells you that it is not ready, please drop it. It's not as if probiotics are bad. It's not as if sauerkraut is bad. But in my own case, if you have noticed already, it's like Blessing has a case of leaky gut. Because tell me, why don't I tolerate kale very well? People that don't tolerate kale very well most times are people with leaky gut. So, Blessing has an issue of leaky gut. Blessing went and took sauerkraut. What will happen? This probiotic drink that I was taking will not stay in the gut where it was supposed to. It was penetrating into my bloodstream through the tiny holes in the leaky gut. Probiotics are good, but not for someone with leaky gut. Even though the research out there says probiotics help in healing leaky gut, but in my experience with my leaky gut situation, probiotic was a no-no for me. There are different types of probiotics out there. My body tolerates apple cider vinegar, but apple cider vinegar is not the same thing as sauerkraut, and my body knows the difference so well. My brain may not be able to explain to me the difference, but my body is telling me that there's a difference and it's handling it differently. And so it will be wise for me to let go of the sauerkraut and stick to the apple cider vinegar for now until my body gets to that level that it can handle maybe sauerkraut or maybe not, or any other form of probiotics. Because I'm not super okay with how I'm making the sauerkraut. I'm like, maybe it was how I was making it. Maybe it wasn't clean water. Maybe I don't know the process very well. So maybe I was introducing harmful bacteria to my body. And so right now I've put a pause on it too, but I think I'm a little bit open to buying the probiotics. But I'm aware that some of them out there, even if you buy them, it's a waste of money because they don't really survive your stomach acid, they get killed there. And so that's it for that one for now.